So these are the different social stories what I have compiled together. So we'll send you this. So one is biting. Next is touching myself. So these are different social stories like biting. So how you can use this social story, right? What are the things that will be helping the child to calm himself down? Touching myself, right? Bullying. So like this, several social stories have been compiled in this. It's not always my turn to answer. So sometimes you see children have a habit of blurting out. They won't ask teacher or they will not raise their hand and just blurt out. So for them, you can use this social story to tell them the appropriate ways of asking. How to sit in assembly. Again, it's a social scenario, right? What you should do sitting in assembly, what you need to remember while sitting there. It's okay not to win. Again, one of the social scenario. Because sometimes children get so upset if they're not winning something. I think this has been asked by somebody during my earlier sessions also. So how you can take this thing with the child, you can do the social stories with them. Yeah. Next is saying goodbye to daddy or saying goodbye to mama. So you can use social story because children with ASD, they don't like changes in their routine. So when mama papa is going to office, they becomes very fussy for that. Bullying, social situation. So these are different stories for bullying. Saying goodbye to my parents and they are going somewhere together. So I hope you understand what kind of stories or what kind of conditions you can do. Taking turns in the playground. So taking turns is again a big problem with kids with ASDs. You can do a social stories with them. So these are some of the social stories that you can do. Yeah, we will send you this compilation of social stories. And these are some posters that you can have it in the form of flashcards, you can have it in the form of a poster that you can paste you in your therapy rooms. So one is all about hugs. So sometimes people with ASD, they hug people. So that's how you can do. So it's all about hugs. So hugs feel good. Hugs are a way to show love. Hugs are a way to show concern. Hugs make me feel happy. So is it okay to hug anyone when I feel like it? So what is the rule? So you will tell about this rule. So the rule is no. First, I must ask. So ask, can I give you a hug? Wait for the answer, yes or no. It is okay to hug mama and dad. Is it okay to hug at school? So there is no hugging at school. So that's a universal no. I do not hug my friends. I do not hug my teachers. I respect personal space. So I can say wave or say hi. I can give them high five. I can shake hands. So good, now I know what to do in that case, right? So that's how you can take, like the poster you can have and explain children regarding this. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, there are certain other conditions also. Like, let me minimize it a little. Yeah. So that's about dental visit. So what all steps will be done there? So again, it is mentioned here in the form of a poster. That's a reception area. You need to wait. You need to sit in a dental chair, spit in cup. So if you want to stop, you can ask stop, please. So again, kissing is very common in kids. So that's just a social story or the posters about it. To whom can I kiss? So kissing is touching. I can kiss my mom, I can kiss my dad. So no kissing at school. So I will not kiss my teachers. I will not kiss my friends. I will not kiss the girls at school. When I kiss people at school, they get mad at me. When I kiss people at school, they get upset. I need to respect the personal space and I need to show I can be a good friend. So some touches are okay at school and I can give them high five or I can wave and say hi. I can tap someone on the shoulder. I can shake hands. I will follow the no kissing rule at school, and I will do my best to follow the rules. And I'll feel proud when I do my best. So there's a tagline, no kissing at school. So similarly, there are other conditions. What to do when I'm angry? Sometimes I get angry. It's hard, but I have to make a choice. Bad choices get me in trouble. So good choices can help me calm down. So getting too close, it's a bad choice. Hitting others is a bad choice. Throwing stuff is a bad choice. What can I do to calm down? I can use my words. That's a good choice. I can take a break. That's a good choice. Walk away from that situation. I can blow out 3 times. That's a good choice. I can hug a pillow. I can go and walk outside. I can drink water. And I can ask for help. These are all good choices. So it is always okay to say I need help and I just do my best and soon I'll be happy again. So it's a way how you can keep yourself calm down when you are in angry situations. So these are some more posters. It's not okay to hurt me, right? So I am sure you all are clear about this, the social stories and the posters, how you can use them. So what are the steps when you want to take a bath? So all of them are placed here. So you can have a sheet, and this can be in a form of card, and you can place all those steps. So one step is done, so child can take off that card and put it in the finish box. So when all the cards are done, so you can say great job. Yeah. So that can be another way of doing all the steps and showing them well done or great job. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll provide you both of these files. One is social stories and one the merged postures about different conditions. Okay, now coming back to visual scheduling.
Ma'am, I want to ask something.
Yes.
Ma'am, can we make our own social stories? Like,
Yes, you
can you
can
tell
do that.
me if, yeah, in what,
Yeah.
how can I do that? Using some
Depending
app
upon the
or
social story,
website?
yeah, depending upon the social story that you want to do with the child, you can take child's own pictures also and explain him. Let's say the child has to go to picnic and there is a transition in the daily routine. So the child doesn't have to follow the daily routine, the timetable on that particular day, and they have to visit to a picnic, let's say a museum. So you will compile all the photos of the museum and how the child will be going to museum, maybe by school bus. So you will tell all of those things in a form of a social story, taking the original pictures. So that's how you can do. That's one of the way. So if
Okay, ma'am.
child is in higher class, let's say the child is in higher class and has got reading skills, so you can do it in a form of writing. So child can read that. So okay, so at 8 o'clock we'll be reaching there at school. 8:30 the buses will be deboarding. We'll be boarding the bus and going to the picnic. By this time we will reach to the museum and we will be doing this thing. And that this time we'll be having a lunch over there. And by this time we'll be coming back from the museum to the school, and then mama and papa will be coming to pick you up. So like this you can have the clock versus activity, right? So generally
Okay.
original pictures we you use it with younger students because they may
Hmm.
not have reading skills, no. But the other thing that I have told you is clock, where the times are mentioned, and so we will use that thing with older students, those who have got reading abilities, right?
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
So now you're talking about visual scheduling, some visual strategies and scheduling for kids with ASD. So what are the benefits of using visual strategies? It decreases the challenging behavior. It decreases anxiety in them, increases calmness, teaches how to accept changes, increases understanding and increases independence also. They don't have to rely on somebody else what to do next. Using that visual schedule or looking at that, the child himself know, okay, this is the thing that I have to do after doing this step, right? So it increases independence. So why do they function better on visual schedule? Because they have difficulty in establishing attention. Their attention is shifting here and there, and they have difficulty in filtering out the background noises. So that is why if something is given in the form of a visual schedule, they work better on that instead of auditory information. So what is the primary function of this visual strategies is it's a receptive communication tool. It gives you the information and increases understanding of the task, activities, and the environment. And it also teaches skill to become independent in day-to-day functioning. So for them, it's like when I see, I understand. So some of the visual tools for environment that you can teach to children is about the washroom sign. Yeah, it's a girl and the boy's washroom. Caution, wet floor. So child should read the visual strategies, the visual things that are used in the environment. Stop. That they need to stop here. Restaurant signs. So you have to teach about all of these things. What are the advantages? They give boundaries to the environment, put less energy in reaching and recognizing the place. So if they know the washroom sign, so and they are in a mall, so looking at that arrows where the washroom is, so child can go there on their own without the help. So they recognize the place. Yeah, it enables students to become more responsible and it helps in understanding the structure and predictability. Right?
Ma'am, ma'am, does this visual scheduling work with a child of 4 year old?
It will work out with kid of 4-year-old also. Yeah, depending upon what are the things you are targeting on.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So it will work out with them. So suppose they want a food, so they can show you the picture of food that they want to eat, whatever things they want to have, maybe a toy, maybe they want to have a book. So they can. It's a receptive communication tool, no?
Ma'am, can I help a 4 year old child with the visual scheduling in going to school and coming back to home? Does
You
this
can do
will
a
work?
social story. Yeah. Again, you can use a social story going to school. So have all the steps of what all steps needs to be carried out for going to a school. And in the school, what you do, you meet your friends, you go for study, you have your English class, art class. So true pictures can be there with the teachers when they're teaching. So like this, the whole schedule can be done. The whole social story can be done. And what you do,
Okay, ma'am.
what you ultimately gain. So you enjoy, you gain a lot of information, you play there, you meet your friends. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
It can be done for anything, whatever you want to teach. Okay. So these are some tools for the environment. Label school supplies. So that this is stapler, this is crayon, scissor, pencil, glue. So label all the school supplies. Picture on the sitting place in the classroom and computer room. So that's a place where you have to sit. Otherwise, when they are entering into the classroom, they are like scanning the whole room, may not be aware where I need to sit, and they may sit in some other person's place. So, what you can do, you can paste a picture of a child on their sitting places in the classroom as well as in the computer room. That this is a place where the child has to sit. And put a square boundary for sitting on floor, bench, and bus. So whenever there is a music class or a dance class and the children has to sit on a floor, so you can make a square boundary or a circle boundary for sitting at that particular place. So when you are asking children to make a line, so you can have dot spots like this. Because again, sometimes when you're making line, children with ASD they have difficulty in standing in lines. Maybe there are tactile inputs, so they don't like that. So instead, if you are making these kind of dotted spots, and the children have to make lines, so there will be less tactile inputs. And they know where exactly they need to stand. They are not messing up here and there. Then label areas in classroom as well. So label all the school supplies of the child like books, his bags, his water bottle, his lunch box, his fruit, everything, whatever he is bringing to the school, you have to label the supplies. So that's a sign that you can use for universal no. So put over the items that they cannot have. Like let's say that in a cupboard the teacher has placed a scissor, so child cannot have that. So you can place a universal no sign over that item. So whatever things the child cannot have, you put over that. That's a universal no. So maybe at home the child is not allowed to eat sugary things like biscuits and all. So you put a universal no over that. So you don't want the child to be touching the street dogs, put a picture and put a sign of universal no over that. So no touching to dogs. Yeah, these are some examples that I'm giving you. Then visual tools for behavior. So whenever there's a communication breakdown, so behavior problem arises. So it provides the visual representation for what they are doing and what they should do. Yeah, so you have to provide that visual representation for them. So like instead of hitting, so hitting to other is a universal no. So these are some high interest behavior. So when you are making a visual schedule, so insert some free images in schedules to allow them to indulge in high interest behavior at an appropriate spaces. So usually what we do know, we are putting all the things what we want the child should be doing. We don't put any high interest behavior that is from the child perspective into that schedule. So you can include those high interest behavior. Maybe the child wants a free time or a talk time with you, because sometimes kids with ASD, they want to talk about the certain topics of their interest. So you can allow that talk time also once the task has been completed, let's say, for example, right? Then give some visual schedule to indicate the degree of difficulty also, because sometimes we give them a task and we don't realize whether the task is difficult for them or no. So when you give the degree of difficulty that this task that you have given is easy or it's medium or it's hard, so this will be really helpful in decreasing frustration if the difficult task remain incomplete. Yeah, so you have to give this to the kids with ASD also, because normally children, they will tell you, no mama, I don't want to do this is so difficult for me, or this is so hard, I can't do that, or let's do it tomorrow. Yeah, but here kid with ASD, they are not able to show that, or they are not able to express that level of difficulty to the parents or the teachers. So give some visual tool for them so that they are able to show you that this task that you have given is easy or it's hard. Right? So you have to teach self-regulation also by using visual schedule. So insert problem behavior into the schedule, like the child has a habit of spitting. So again, on spitting, you can have universal no signal and say if you want to spit, you can spit in sync, and do a social story also. So spitting on others is no okay. So nobody wants to friend with you. So you can do a social stories with them. And then you can do spit. You can ask children, if you want to spit, you can spit in sync. And when the child is doing that, you reinforce that behavior, because that is the behavior that you want, and you want the likelihood of that behavior should be increasing in future as well. So you have to condition that response, right, by using positive reinforcement. Next, it's another behavior, like the child has a habit of hitting others. Again, you'll say it's a universal no, do a social story and ask them, if you want to hit, you can hit a punching bag. Right? So, and if child is doing this as a method of self-regulation, you will reinforce that behavior by a positive reinforcement. Okay, so these are some communication tools that you can use. So these are some activities: finding and point out, building short sentences, asking WH questions, what is this, where is that bat. You can use books also. You can involve children into cooking activities. You can do pretend plays of dressing up a doll, blowing up a bubbles, playing with food. Yeah, asking what, why questions. So I'll show you certain tools during my intervention class. What happened and what will happen next. singing activities, sing songs, sing nursery rhymes, sing Bollywood songs with them. So these are some communication activities that you can do with them. So for behavior, you can have certain cards or emojis to show that you are angry, you are annoyed, you're anxious, ashamed, awkward, brave. So initially we start with happy and sad, and then you can add more emotions to understand. Yeah. And this is one of the things that you can use when you are using token economy. So suppose children want a toy car and you said, okay, once you collect 10 stars, you will get a toy car. So the star it is given whenever the child is, let's say he is raising his hand when he needs to ask a question to a teacher or when he wants to answer something. So child needs to raise his hand, and whenever he is doing that, the teacher is giving him a star and he needs to collect 10 star. Once it is done, so he will be exchanging these tokens and he'll be getting a car from parents. Right? So that's how token economy is being used. So you can have some, when you are teaching emotions, you can have some emojis or pictures like this to show angry, excited, annoyed, happy, calm, proud, confused. And you can do this feeling check-in worksheet. So right now, when the child has entered in the classroom, how he is feeling. So you can choose anything from the emojis, and then you can ask, I feel this way because, or maybe saying, I feel this way because I want like the hot chocolate drink, something that might help. Mm, it would be better if I get a chocolate. Anything else I'd like to share? So you like this, you can do a feeling check-in with them. So when we are talking about behaviors, so usually this is one of the social story for hitting. So you can tell hands are for helping. So you use your hands for many things, like for writing in school, for scissoring at school, for pasting at school. Yeah. So you use your hands to learn various things in school. You use your hands to play. You use your hands to help others. People like it when you use your hands to do good things. And there are some things that you should not do with your hands. So it's a universal no. You should never hit anyone with your friends, with your hands. You should never take objects from another person without their permission. So it's called robbing. It's called stealing, right? You should never use your hands to take things that do not belong to you. Taking things without permission is called stealing, and the people will put you behind bars. So you use your hands for helping. That's how you can do a social stories with them, and you'll be happy, right? So in case you want to manage anger, what kind of things we can do? So we can use like the situation cards here. So when I feel angry, I can fight with others. So child will say whether it is a positive way of dealing with anger or it's not a good way of dealing the anger. So we will show positive ways by showing thumbs up and like if it is no, you will do thumbs down. Okay. Or you can use red color and green color lights also, making a circle like this. And one circle is full of red color and one circle is full of green color. So if it is good choice, then it is green, good to go. And if it is red, that means you need to stop. So we are correlating this with traffic lights. Okay. So when I feel angry, I can squeeze something that is soft. So it's a good way of dealing anger, right? Am I clear or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Okay. So I feel angry, I can run away from my teacher and hide. No, that's not a good way of dealing with anger. So I'll do thumbs down or use a red color to stop. When I feel angry, I can blame other people for my mistakes. Again, that's not a good way of dealing with anger. When I feel angry, I push people down. Again, that's not a good way of dealing anger. When I feel angry, I can sit down and rest. Yes, that's a good way of dealing with anger. When I feel angry, I can scream and yell at others. Again, that's not a good choice. When I feel angry, I can tease others. Again, that's not a good choice. When I feel angry, I can push against a wall. Yes, that's a good choice. When I feel angry, I can throw everything. Again, that's not a good choice. When I feel angry, I can put on headphones and listen to calming music. So that's a good choice for dealing with anger. When I feel angry, I can knock over the tables and the chairs. Not a good choice. When I feel angry, I can ask for help. Yes, that's a good choice for dealing with anger. When I feel angry, I can hurt myself by banging my head on the door. Again, that's not a good choice. When I feel angry, I can take a walk. Yeah, that's a good choice of dealing with anger. When I feel angry, I can kick everything. Again, that's not a good choice. When I feel angry, I can blow bubbles. Yes, that's a good choice that you can do. When I feel angry, I can take some deep breaths. That's a good choice of dealing with anger. So, like this, you can do certain conditions and the stories or the pictures where you can do this, whether it is a good choice or a bad choice, or you can use a color coded thing also, like red means you need to stop, and green means that you need to. That is good to go with. So, here we are understanding situation based emotions. So, once you have done that activity, we can move to situations. Like there are certain cards you will place it on a child's desk, maybe three or four initially, not all of them, because children with ASD they get confused if you put a lot of information around. And you said, Sarah sits in class, yawning and tapping her pencil, feeling uninterested in the lesson. So which face matches the scenario? So you can choose a board face. I've already done that. So you can put three choices. Out of that, I've chosen this. Yeah, that's how you can do this activity, right? So there are certain other conditions like Ben looks puzzled while trying to understand a complex math problem and he scratches his head in confusion. So which face matches the scenario? So you can place three different faces and out of that the child has to choose one. So this is a confused face, right? Next is before a doctor's appointment, Jacob bites his nails and paces back and forth, feeling worried about the visit. Which face matches the scenario? So I've already done that. You can place three out of three. The child has to choose that face. Yeah. So like this, you can do certain conditions with kids that is situation based. Are you getting it or no?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes. Yeah. So like here, Daniel completes a challenging puzzle and smiles with pride, showing it to his family. So which face matches the scenario? So that's a proud face, right? It is disgusted face. Alex tries a new food, grimaces, sticking out their tongue and spitting it out. Which face matches the scenario? So again, like this, you can do certain conditions. It's a surprise face, like a thanks parent throw him a surprise party and he covers his mouth in astonishment when he walks into the room. So which face matches the scenario? You can place three different pictures. Out of that, the child has to pick the surprised face, right? Yeah, these are some conditions like sad face. Johnson's bicycle wheel get punctured, so he feels sad. Which face matches the scenario? Emma finds out she won a contest and jumps up and down with joy, which face matches the scenario. It's angry face. Tommy's brother accidentally break his favorite toy, and Tommy shouts at him angrily. So out of these three, which face matches the scenario? You can put angry face. Are you all clear with what kind of activities we can do with kids to understand emotions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, suppose you want to create an individual visual schedule for a child. So, what are the different factors we have to look for? So, when we are creating an individual visual schedule, it is a visual representation of activities and to be done in what order. It helps to organize and predict activities or events. It teaches flexibility and how to adapt to change. It also helps to shift attention from one activity to another. It also teaches passing of time and increases independent functioning. Okay. So when you are designing an individual schedule, these are the things that you have to cater. One is what is the visual representation system you will be using? What is the size of it? Where you'll be setting up that schedule? So choices on that schedule. length, location, transition, how to indicate all the work is done, changes, and clock versus activity. So you have to consider all these things when you are designing an individual schedule for a child. So let's talk about it one by one. So when you are using visual representation system, either it can be a true object based pictures. So like if it is a math class, you can take picture of his class or with ma'am. So use true object based pictures. Like if you want to show time to flush the toilet, so you can have a true object based picture. Or playtime basketball, have true object based picture that time. So these are first option. Another option is you can use the photographs. Third thing is you can use line drawings like this in your visual representation system. If you don't want to use the photographs or the true object based pictures, use line drawings. You can use written words also in case if the child has got a reading ability or the older children. You can use the written visual representation system also. Am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next is what should be the size. The size can be large or small, again depending upon to what child you're working on and what are your goals. So either you want to opt for a large or a small size which is portable one and child can take it from place to place. Right? Am I clear for size which is large versus small?
Yes.
Yeah. You can have in a form of a small book also that the child can carry from one place to another. Yeah, and when you are using large, it will be stuck at one place only. The child cannot take it from one place to another when he has to do transition from school at home or at home also when they are doing transitioning from one room to another. So they cannot take that large visual representation system to everywhere. But a small one, it is easy, it is portable ones, right? Okay, so when you are scheduling how to set up, so either you can do this is the first thing to be done and this is the second thing to be done first and then. You can use left to right like I have shown you. So this is the first thing to be done, this is another thing to be done, third thing, like this you are following. Left to right and top to bottom. So top to bottom can be so where this is the first thing, then this is the second thing, third thing. So like this you have to follow. That's top to bottom. So again, how to make your schedule, it's up to you. Either you use two things, first and then, left to right and top to bottom. And then you have a card which is showing that all is done or finished. Are you all clear with this also? How to schedule the setup on this?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Quite clear. Okay, so include some choices on schedule, provide choices between the activities. It also gives student a sense of control. It's not like always therapist directed or teacher directed. Include some activities or choices on schedule which is of child interest. Like maybe he wants to go on swings, he wants to jump on trampoline, or he want to involve himself into messy plays. So have some cards for that also. That gives the choices on the schedule. Right? That is again very important. So now location of the schedule, where you want to place that schedule. So it should have a ability to have visual access at all the times, whether it is portable or not. Yeah, so that's how you will be placing it. Suppose you're working out on toileting skills. So you'll be placing that schedule over the door, on the back of the door. Like this, you can place the whole activities what the children needs to do. Suppose you are working out on brushing, so all the brushing things or the tasks that they have to do, you can put where the wash basin is placed. Yeah. And you can give them certain card that shows whatever you have planned for the day and all the things are done. So it shows all done. So either it can be in written form if the child has a reading ability, or you can use this card also show that shows all is done. So whenever there is a change in schedule, so indicate changes by placing a symbol or a word by the activity or placing universal no symbol over the activity. So suppose there is a transition. The child is not having a snack today, and these are the things the child cannot have, it's a universal no. And instead of having snack at this time, the child has to go to park today. So have a picture of a park also and show this is a change in the schedule for today, and instead of having snack at this time, we'll go to a park. This is just one example that I'm telling you how to show changes in the schedule. Am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we are talking about schedule by clock versus activity. So this is by activity. So younger students, by activity or picture cards, you can plan that schedule. Like here, all the pictures have been placed. But for older students, those who have got reading ability, you can use clock. So like 8 o'clock, there is a science. 10 o'clock, children have to go to room number this, and they have a class with Miss or whatever is the teacher name. So you can place that name. So like this, you can plan the whole day for the child. That is clock activity. Are you clear with clock versus activity?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. So like this is an activity schedule. So place all the step-by-step instruction on how to complete a task. So these are the steps for brushing. So from entire thing, from the beginning till the ending, till all done, all the cards need to be placed in a systematic order. So child will complete one task at a time looking at the schedule, and he'll be reaching to the last step, and he'll give you all done card. And you praise a child for that. Am I clear about this activity schedule? So this is not just done for brushing. You can do for other things also that you want to teach to child. Maybe washing his hands, right? Maybe brushing, making a sandwich. Even if you're working on toileting skills. So I've placed that for toileting procedure also. You can place this over the back of the door of a washroom. So what all steps they need to carry out, like pants down, sit on toilet, toilet roll, pants up, flush, wash hands, dry hands. So you can have all those steps. So this is for a girl and for a boy. If you're working with a girl, you place a girl card, and if you're working with a boy, you can place a boy card on the back of the door. Yes? Okay. So you can have some card that shows activity termination. You can include certain break cards also. It helps to decrease anxiety, and place break cards for both teacher as well as student. Sometimes teachers also want to have break. So you can show that break card to the child that I want a 5-minute break, and then we'll resume. And give break cards to the students also. Right or no? Yes.
Ma'am, I
so
have
ma'am,
one
we have
doubt,
to
ma'am.
make it on our own.
You can make it on your own. No, if child has got, depending upon what you want to do at that time. So you can make that break
Okay.
card, or it could be in written form also, break.
Okay, and for the termination card as well.
Yeah, for the termination card as well.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
some childs are not consciousness, ma'am. That time, how to show activities, ma'am? Cards, this type of cards.
Consciousness means
Not respond.
you cannot hear to 795. Okay. So use some wait cards also. Use visual representation that they have to wait for their turn, or it can be in written form also that you need to wait. Yeah. Include some emergency cards also. It helps them to prepare for what is going to happen, and it also decreases anxiety. So what could be the emergency card? Suppose you have a fire drill at school, so have that emergency card. You have a picnic at school, have that emergency card. Visit to a doctor, dental checkups at school also, maybe visual checkup. So have some emergency cards also. That will help to decrease anxiety in kids. So like provide a predictable environment and routine, and create a pictorial routine for your child. And this way, the child will know which activity follows next. So, like this here, for all the days, you can place a card. And if there is any change in the order, you can take it out using the Velcro and you can place it somewhere else. So here what we do know, we have Velcro, we use Velcros and you have all these cards. Yeah. And whatever like sequence you want, you can place it accordingly. So that is one way of doing top to bottom visual schedule. At what time the child is going to bathing, 7:15 he'll be dressing, 7:30 is be grooming, 7:45 he'll have a breakfast, 8. So school and instructional time, 9 they'll be going to play. So all the things have been placed here according to the schedule for that particular day. Am I clear?
Yes.
So it's like this is before and after. Drink milk, then only you are allowed to play. Yeah. That's how you can do what I've told you earlier also, no? Before and after. What you have to do first, and then you are allowed to do this activity. So this is again one more example first and then. So where possible, introduce changes gradually with visual information. If a change is taking place in the child's routine, use pictures and emojis to better explain the changes that are going to take place. Right? So that's all about visual scheduling. I'm sure you all are clear with this. I'll show you one more thing for visual scheduling that you can use. Wait, give me a second. I'll place that for you. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Again, in morning, what all things you need to do. In evening, what all things you need to do. So you can use this my daily responsibilities card, and you can choose the things from this. You can cut it out, use Velcros, and place in the proper format. What sequence you want depending upon the child to which you are working with. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm sure you all are clear with visual scheduling.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So what we are doing for now, we'll have 2 minutes break and then we'll start with sensory processing disorders. Okay. That's our another module. Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am, may I ask you something?
Regarding.
Ma'am, regarding transitioning from one activity to another, as visual schedule will, of course, help. Can you tell
Hmm.
us some other activities or some other ways through which we can help the child to transition from one activity to another?
Generally, visual schedules are a good way of doing that because if you are
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
something auditory, the child may not understand because they have got issues with auditory filtering also.
Hmm.
Yeah, so visual schedules are a good way of doing that. And you can use social stories alongside, right? Even for transitioning, like I told you that picnic thing, no?
Hmm.
Today, children are not having timetable, which is planned for day Thursday, and instead they are going picnic on that particular day. So you have done a whole social story for that, and maybe they have a visit to a railway museum. So how they are going, what all things he'll be looking at that place, what are the activities he'll be doing, when he'll be having a lunch time. So all the things are done in a form of social story, right? That's the
Okay.
way of handling it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Is it visible? Understanding sensory processing disorders.
Yes,
Let
ma'am.
me. Yeah. Okay, so we are starting with the last module on SPDs in autism. Okay. So what is sensory processing? It's the SPD is a condition where the brain has a trouble in understanding, receiving, and responding to information that comes through the senses. So these are some of the things what people with SPD may feel like you couldn't focus your eyes on me because everything and everyone in the room catches your attention and your eyes just go here and there instead. Yeah, this is one of the SPD. Every time you tried to write with your pencil, it broke down because you pushed too hard on the paper. You don't know about pressure regulation. How much pressure needs to be exerted on paper so that the pencil won't break. Sometimes the humming of the light sounded louder than my voice, and you become so upset for that, and you are keeping your fingers inside your ears. Usually, humming of the lights, we don't bothered by that humming. So lights are so bright that you have to squint your eyes and then you get a pounding headache after that. Every time someone touches you, it feels like they are rubbing sandpaper on your skin. You could only sit here for 15 minutes and then you had to take a run around building or to do 20 jumping jacks. So you could sit for another 10 minutes before your muscles felt like they are going to jump out of your skin. So these are some of the things that kids with SPD may feel like. Yeah. People whispers sounded like they are yelling at you. The tag in the back of your shirt makes you feel as uncomfortable as you would if a spider was crawling on you and couldn't get off him. Yeah. Okay. So now when we are talking about sensory processing, so we have got some senses. Yeah. So what are the sensory systems we have? So either they are external senses or they are internal senses. So when we are talking about external senses, we have got 5 basic sensory system, that is visual system, auditory system, olfactory, that is smell system, gustatory, that is taste system, and we have got tactile system. So these are all your external sensory systems, right? And what internal sensory systems we do have? There are 3 internal sensory system. Yeah. So one is vestibular system. That's a sense of head movement in space. Then we have got proprioceptive system. That is sensations that we get from the muscles and the joints of our body. And the third one is the interoception. That is most recently discussed set of sensation that is related to internal organs. Yeah, so interoception, it is the process of receiving, accessing and appraising internal bodily signals. It detects the responses of hunger, heart rate, respiration, and the need to urinate or defecate. That's the interoception. Okay. Am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when we say SPD, sensory processing dysfunction, so sensory processing disorder or dysfunction is the inability to use information that is received through the senses to function smoothly in daily life. And SPD is not one specific disorder as blindness or deafness. It is umbrella term to cover variety of neurological disabilities. And we also say it as either sensory integrative dysfunction or dysfunction in sensory integration or SPD. They all are synonymous. Right? Okay, so first and foremost, we are talking about our external senses. So first we are talking about visual sense. That is the sense of vision. So the sensory organ of visual system, as we all know, it's the eyes. So the eyes and the brain communicate and work together to help us interpret physical surroundings using sight. The sensory receptors that are there in the eyes pick up information about the objects around us and pass that information to the visual cortex in the brain, where the objects are identified and given the meaning. So, what all things it includes regarding vision? It includes details regarding color, 3D depth perception, where the object is in the space, the memory of that image. So, that's all the work of visual system, right? So, and the vision is closely integrated with all our senses. So, if you just see the freshly baked cookies, we become automatically hungry just by looking at it, or when we are getting a smell of it. So, our taste buds also kicks in. Suppose if you see a large spider, our tactile system get activated and we may feel fearful or we may get goosebumps just by looking at that. Vision help us process, understand and take action in our environment. So children when automatically focus in on details in their environment that are most important at any given moment depending on the purpose. Suppose when a child walks into the classroom after the recess, he automatically scans the entire room and he straight away go to his seat. Yeah. So that's the important thing for the child at that particular time. Right? So this is when you see the child is having visual over responsivity or visual defensiveness. They respond negatively and emotionally to the colors, shiny surfaces, and bright lights. So they often choose to wear things like sunglasses that reduces glare, or they are wearing hood jackets or wide brim hats that reduces or cover up for their peripheral vision. You know, when they are entering into the bright lights, they do squinting also because they are visually defensive. The child may be disturbed by moving objects. He may duck down when he see the objects are coming towards her, such as like ball or another fast moving child. And they perceive most of the visual sensation as overwhelming or painful. So that's how the child who is visually defensive will be acting out. Now, in case the child is having visual seeking, in case of visual seeking, what children will be doing, the sensory seeker will be drawn towards television, computer screens, mobiles, and he will be attracted by bright lights, flickering lights such as strobe lights. And sometimes to seek what they do know, they repeatedly move their hands in front of eyes and they are seeking that, or they'll move some toys in front of their eyes continuously. That's all visual seeking things. So, you know, I'll tell you one example of visual over responsivity or visual defensiveness. You or maybe you have seen in the movie also. If you remember the movie My Name is Khan, where the Shah Rukh Khan has done, he was ASD in that movie. So how he look world, he takes a photo of the things because 3D world is so overwhelming for him. So he take a photo and he look through the pictures because it's not a 3D detail that you are getting on a picture. It's a 2D detail. It becomes less overwhelming for him. Right? It's just one example that I remember. So I shared that with you. Okay, next is auditory sense, that is sense of hearing. The sensory organ for auditory system is ear. So the ear and the brain communicate and work together to help us analyze sounds that are heard to generate a response, what we should be doing next and what is going around us. So the sound that is heard alerting to us like fire alarm or honking of a car, or is it calming to you, whether it is a classical music or a sound of a ocean wave. So there are two types of sounds that you are hearing. Either it is alerting or it is calming. Alerting like fire alarm or calming like classical music. So it will tell you whether it is a danger or there is no danger at all. Just by hearing the sounds. Right? Okay. So children with healthy auditory system, they are able to respond to sound naturally. Like when their names are being called, they will look towards that person, turning their head towards the sound. Right? They are able to follow the verbal directions that are given by the teachers and the parents. They are also able to filter out sounds that are not important, like when teacher is taking on some important topics or the concepts in classroom and the friend is making some sound by tapping the pencil on the desk. So child knows that he should not be paying attention to the friend who is tapping on the table. Instead, she should be paying attention to the teacher, what she's saying in the classroom. Right? So children with healthy auditory system are neither overwhelmed nor distracted by the common sounds, and they often react to sounds automatically. They know what to do when they hear school bell or alarm clock. They are typically enjoys toys and the play activities that appeals to their auditory system. And a fully functioning auditory system is an integral for developing listening skills also, or communication or social skills. Are you getting this or no? If the child is not having a fully functioning auditory system, how he will develop his listening skills? He will not listen to you because the tick tick of the clock is bothering them. He will not get the effective communication skills also because the buzzing of the sounds, buzzing of the lights are bothering him. Right? Okay, so again, we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
got two types of. So first we are talking about auditory overresponsivity, that is auditory defensiveness. The child may have difficulty with everyday tasks because for them the world is never a quiet place. Even for sleeping, they cannot sleep sound because again the world is never a quiet place for them. The tick tick of the clock bothers them. The sounds of AC and the fan are bothering them, right? They often choose to wear ear protection for everyday sounds. The child may be disturbed by the sounds of someone chewing gum also, or eating, or sounds of food being digested, or the sounds of buzzing lights also. Yeah, they are bothering them. So if somebody is sitting nearby and is eating the chips, the sound of that eating of chips is like a cracker to them. The child faces difficulty to concentrate. They also have difficulty with sleeping, and they perceive most of the auditory sensation as overwhelming or painful and become annoyed and irritated. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So next is auditory seeking. The sensory seeker will be drawn towards sounds, and sometimes they are making sounds for the sounds for enjoying that. They are humming some music or singing something always because they are always auditory seekers. So the sensory seeker will be drawn towards sounds and continuous sounds like loud music, vacuum cleaner, drillers, and sirens. They often do things to make loud sounds like banging toys and objects. And they repeatedly ask you to repeat your instructions louder and louder in order to understand what you are saying to them. Again, they are seeking it. They will not respond to it. Again, they are seeking what you are saying. Yeah.
So, ma'am, if some children who are constantly talking, are they also auditory seeking?
Constantly talking like
I
repeating their
mean,
instructions
yeah,
or the words again and again.
yeah, they're just they're mumbling or they're speaking or repeating something.
Could
Yeah,
be auditory seeker.
okay.
And they are making sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are making sounds or they are actually talking. They are like remembering something and they are just kind of like making conversation, but not actually.
Conversation with whom? With somebody else?
Yeah, if like I'm sitting in front of
Echolalia
them,
is
they're
not coming
talking, but they're
under
not
auditory
talking to
seeking.
me.
Echolalia is not auditory seeking. If it is
No, so
echolalia,
not echolalia actually. They are not per se repeating everything I say, but they're constantly talking or like singing or doing some sort of
Sometimes
yeah.
self-talking is a common trait of children with ASD. This we have talked during ESA also, right?
Hmm.
That could be an auditory seeking.
Okay.
But for auditory
Okay.
seeking, you need to do a detailed sensory profile. Maybe you will get a clear picture out of it, right? Whether it
Okay,
is
ma'am.
auditory seeker or no.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Next is olfactory sense, that is sense of smell. So this is another way of our brain to receive information what is going around us. The sensory receptors in the nose pick up the information about the others around us and pass that information along the channel of nerves, then they reaches to brain. Again, the olfactory system can discriminate between thousands of different odors and help us recognize whether the smells are dangerous or it is pleasurable. Right? So, like if you have a smell of freshly baked cookies, you know it's a pleasurable. If the food is rotten, you know it's a dangerous to eat just by smell of it. Right? Okay, so child with healthy olfactory system is able to tolerate smelling food and other odors in the environment. And it is closely related to our limbic system that is responsible for emotions, memory, and associative learning. It will alert us from fire before even we can see flames, giving a recall about a smell before we taste the rotten food. Again, this is all your olfactory senses. Yeah. So here we have got one, that is olfactory responsivity or if olfactory defensiveness. So children with olfactory defensiveness, they respond negatively and emotionally to the smell that other people generally ignore. Or they don't even notice, like pit odor, refrigerator smells, car exhaust, perfumes, air fresheners, or scented soap. Yeah, generally other people ignore it, but the children here, they show defensiveness towards these smells and they perceive most of the smell sensations as uncomfortable. They feel sick or nauseated. So this is for somebody who's olfactory seeker. The sensory seeker will be drawn towards the smelly places or the areas with strong odors. You know, if your hairs are open, they'll come close to you and they will smell your hairs. They will smell your armpits. They may smell everything in like going into the kitchen when mama is cooking or baking something. Even they smell things like toys, grass, soil, plants, shoes. They love smell of freshly laundry clothes, bathing with, they like to have a bath with strong scented soaps, and they need to smell something may make them excessively distracted. Yeah, they are all over the place. So are you all clear with olfactory seeking and defensiveness?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Next is our gustatory sense, that is sense of taste. So the receptors in our mouth allows us to perceive information related to texture, temperature, whether food is hot, it is cold, the texture, whether it is smooth yogurt or hard things like potato chips, or it's a mixture of texture like the cereal and milk, and about the different taste also, whether the food that we are having is sweet, salty, bitter, and sour. So our brain receive lot of proprioceptive information also around the joints of jaw as we are biting different foods that provide different resistance. Like when you are eating a crunchy carrot, that will be of different resistance. You need to hard bite at that time. Or when you are chewing a candy. Yeah. So a child with healthy oral sensory system does not seek out oral sensory experiences like chewing objects in order to regulate his or her behavior. Right? Because sometimes you'll see kids are biting the ends of pen or pencil to regulate their behaviors or to regulate himself or to concentrate on something. So a child with healthy gustatory system typically eat a variety of foods with a range of taste and texture. They are willing to try new foods. And kids with healthy oral sensory system can tolerate eating foods with mixed textures like cereals and milk, having vegetable soups. They are able to tolerate toothbrushing and visit to dentists with minimal protest. There, or maybe there is no protest also. But the child who is having taste defensiveness, they respond negatively and emotionally to taste, and they are very picky eaters. Many flavors either they taste too strong or disgusting for them to eat. They tend to avoid trying new foods and they perceive most of the taste sensation as uncomfortable. They feel nauseated and they want to spit out or throw out. And those who are taste seekers, the sensory seeker will be always on the lookout for a new things to be put in their mouth and taste. And they may be putting everything in their mouth, no matter what it is, whether it is edible or non-edible to eat. Yeah. So that's about our gustatory sense. Are you all clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. What if suppose a child is putting everything inside his mouth? What can be done for that?
I am not talking about the interventions for today in this class. We are just understanding with SPDs. Yeah,
Okay.
intervention of SPD, I'll take it in the last class.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So how many senses we have covered till now? We talked about vision, we talked about auditory, we talked about olfactory, we talked about gustatory. Right or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So the next is tactile sense that I'll be taking in the next class. The tactile sense, proprioceptive sense, and vestibular sense. And we'll be going into the details of it because as per air sensory integration, they put a lot of emphasis on tactile, vestibular, and proprioceptive sense. So we'll be talking about these three senses in detailings. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
So that's it for today. Thank you all. Bye bye and good night. Shaista, please send this message to Sir. Sir will send you that basic MR Part B assessment tool. Okay. And most probably for all the notes and all, you'll be getting those things by your last class. Don't worry. Okay, so bye bye all. Good night.
Good night, ma'am. Thank you.
Good night, ma'am.